All right, everyone. I was, I did not want to make a video response about this, as evident of the fact that I'm just recording myself because I, I don't understand why we're wasting all this time on Eve Torres, but here we go. Because, Sabu TNA Forever decided to make a video response again because apparently the first video he didn't watch the match, and even though we've already talked about this and there was a Skype call recorded about this, that I'd said everything I ever wanted to say about the subject ever, he made a video response, a three-part video response after he watched the match, and there's just a few things that like I wanted to say about it, even though. Uh, okay. Anyways, here we go. One, you say the first thing that proves your point is two women made a video response to your video, so therefore you were right about how the OnlyFans are women and kids. Which is, well, I guess what you meant is the OnlyFans of Eve are women and kids. To which you already know that Monoxide wanted to make a video response, but didn't see any point after watching our video response because it had everything he wanted to say in it. So, if, if that's you saying that, I don't even know what to say right now. Okay, I guess I'll just move on. What else did he say in the first part? I agree with you on the Gail Kim and Natalia Neidhart, which I already told you, which is why I was hoping you'd post the Skype call, but whatever. I agree with you on Natalia and Gail Kim. My point is, WWE doesn't want to give us Natalia and Gail Kim for some reason. I really want them to, but they don't want to give us that. They don't want to give us Gail Kim and Eve. And you know what? With all the shit that's been put on WWE and TNA lately, I take what I can get. So therefore, if they're gonna give me Eve, I'm fucking okay with them giving me Eve. I would rather them give me Natalia and Gail Kim, but if they're gonna give me Eve, fucking fine. At least she's trying. It's like if I go to a restaurant and they have, I want a Coke. I really, really want a Coke, but all they fucking have is RC and Pepsi. RC sucks, so I guess since all you're giving me is Pepsi, I'll fucking drink Pepsi.
Um,
And you said what? Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Did I stop recording?
No, it's recording.
Oh, okay. What do you want to say then?
I just want to say, well, first off, RC does not suck. They are good. Anyhow,
Whatever. You know what my point is.
I know what your point is, but I just want to get something straight here with Travis. Listen, Travis. You're complaining about somebody who's probably better than half of the divas. I agree. Gail Kim, Talia. Alright, Natalia, here's the situation with Natalia. She's currently the manager of the Hard Dynasty. That's her role. She's a manager. She's actually doing something. Alright? Then we go to Gail Kim. I agree about Gail Kim. The thing is, with Eve, you keep saying, alright. This was one of your points in your video. There's a difference between a crowd reaction and a pop. It's kind of the same, but it's kind of different. Yeah, I could see, because Kristen here, we had talked about this before, she believes they are the same. Which, yeah, you can argue they are pretty much the same. But you can also argue that they are different. Crowd reaction is usually based on the fact of how over you are, and how over you are with the fans by their crowd reaction. A pop is not necessarily, it is a crowd reaction, but it's a different form of a crowd reaction. A pop is when you do something to get the fans to go, holy shit, he actually did that. Like, i.e., the Money in the Bank is notorious for pops, such as, look at WrestleMania 24, when Shelton Benjamin was climbing up the ladder and he was getting the freaking suitcase, Carlito and Mr. Kennedy fucking tipped the ladder over, and Shelton fell onto the outside with a ladder that was hanging on to the side of the ring and the side of the barricade, and he went right through that. That's a pop, all right? People went completely nuts over that. That's a pop. So I could kind of see where Travis is coming from when he says that, oh, she just got a pop for winning the title. So yeah, the crowd popped. But here's the thing. She has been getting crowd reactions. Maybe not to the caliber of, let's say, someone like Mickie James. But the fact of the matter is, Eve is better than most of these divas. You got Layla. Fucking horrible. She's useless. Michelle McCool, don't even get me started on her. What's her face? There's got to be a couple. Alicia Fox. She's pretty sloppy in the ring, as you noted. She's more sloppy than Eve. I think Alicia Fox is more sloppy to a point where she might actually hurt somebody. Who else can I throw in the hat there?
All I'm saying, with the crowd reaction and or pop or whatever we're deciding to call it, I thought it was all the same thing, but like nobody, none of the divas are getting. If you want a crowd reaction, none of the divas have gotten a real crowd reaction since Lita and Trish. People chanted Lita's name. People chanted Trish's names and like had signs, and that was a crowd reaction. Nobody, I wouldn't even say Mickie James, even though she's the closest. I wouldn't say anyone in the Divas division gets a real crowd reaction anymore. So I take any kind of cheering as a crowd reaction.
You know what else? It's not even the Divas' fault in that sense. That you can blame on the creative staff for the way they book the Divas. Because pretty much they don't book them to be anything relevant. They book them to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, crowd breathers or piss breaks. Go look at WrestleMania. I mean, the last time we got a legit women's match at WrestleMania was 4 years ago with Trish Stratus and Mickie James.
Hell, the last title defense we've gotten at a pay-per-view was Royal Rumble, Mickie James versus Michelle McCool, a 15-second match, probably like 15-minute segment altogether.
It was a relieving 10-15-second match, but the point.
But there hasn't even been a title match at a pay-per-view in forever.
Yeah, and that's not the Divas' fault. I mean, and in most cases, the problem with WWE is they don't go out of their way to find women wrestlers, because there's tons of, there's Shimmer. There's tons of women you can get. Well, you can't get Ashley Lane because she's with TNA. But what shocks me is that this company has not picked up Sarah Del Rey. What shocks me is that this company has not picked up Daisy Hayes. What shocks me is that this company has not picked up Lacey, who in my opinion was one of the best female heels I had seen.
Awesome Kong.
Well,
just got released by TNA. They haven't picked her up.
I'm trying to talk about like divas, like because you
pretty
can take,
pretty women.
Yeah,
pretty, yeah.
They could still pick up Awesome Kong, but what I'm saying is pretty women that can actually wrestle, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get pretty women, the gorgeous women that can wrestle. While they are picking up gorgeous women, the problem is they can't wrestle. And the other thing about it is, they're not even picking up women that have a desire to want to become wrestlers. They pick up models. They pick up models that are just looking for a modeling career, so they figure WWE will get them started off, or at least pick up their modeling career from there.
Look at Maria. Prime example of Maria that they even tried to put her in wrestling matches and give her pushes and stuff. But the reason why WWE had to fire her in the first place is because WWE didn't like the fact that she wanted to do all these other side projects instead of being a wrestler, being on their show. Which it still annoys me to this day that for some reason all the fans voted her Diva of the Year for 2009 when we saw her maybe a handful of times in 2009.
Well, in some cases, I mean, the rumor, again, this is rumor, the rumor is that Maria's future plans is to sign with either TNA or ROH. That's a rumor, but nonetheless, it's a rumor we can at least study upon. But I think a better example would be someone like, let's say, Layla, because Layla, well, you could say Maria, because Maria had been with that company since 2005. She had been there 5 years and had done nothing. But then again, you could say Stacy Keibler had been in this business since '99. She had been in the business for like 7 years. But then again, the one thing about Stacy Keibler I thought that was wasted was she was a good heel, and they never allowed her to play the heel role because she was excellent as a heel. But they made her play face for most of her career in the WWE, which was sad. And I thought she could be like the Sunny of that company. But digressing here, Layla,
I know we're still talking about the modeling point, but this is like while it's right here on the tip of my tongue. I never compared Eve to Lita. That's like blasphemy to me. Lita is like one of my favorite wrestlers, even though Mono doesn't like her all that much.
Yeah.
But like, I never compared Eve to Lita. I said, we haven't seen any female wrestler do a moonsault since Lita. Did I say that Eve's moonsault was as good as Lita's? No. I never said anything like that. Eve is not as good as Lita. Never will be, probably, unless she sticks around and trains her ass off for a while. Probably not gonna happen.
Yeah,
And I didn't say she was a good women's wrestler, because Eve, let's be honest, like, she's not a good women's wrestler, even right now. She's still sloppy in the ring, she still like messes up drop kicks, but she's only been in the business for how long?
She started in the business in '07, but I think she started wrestling in '09, or at least religiously, that is.
I mean, she hasn't been around that long. I would say for the amount of wrestling, for the amount of time she's been trying to train to wrestle, she's fairly good. For the amount of time that she's trained to wrestle. Is she Lita? No. Hell no. She's not Lita. She's not Trish. She's not any of the women in Shimmer. She's miles behind any of the women in Shimmer, probably.
Then again, I wouldn't compare any of the women in Shimmer to Trish or Lita. I thought Trish was in a category of her own. That's how... I didn't
think even Trish was like a phenomenal wrestler, but the fact that she could get the crowd either on her side or against her side, like her mic skills made up for a lot. A hell of a lot. And she could play any character.
I still think she was an impressive wrestler. I mean, there are people who say she's overrated. I still don't see how. She was an excellent wrestler. She was awesome on the mic. She was one of the most charismatic divas they've ever had, next to probably Fabulous Moolah. But fucking... especially for starting out as a model. But here's another thing that WWE seems to forget. Before coming into WWE, Trish was a fan. She was still a fan. So it was much easier for someone like her to get better because she was at least a fan and actually liked wrestling before coming in. I don't know how passionate she was, but I know for a fact that she was a fan going into it. Whereas most of these divas you pick up probably weren't fans. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I heard Kelly didn't even know who Hulk Hogan was when she started. That's saying something.
Oh, and I haven't even watched part 2 yet.
But, there was another topic I wanted to say about women. I mean, you could get women that are good-looking, that like wrestling, and could probably wrestle their ass off. Alright, this is the point I wanted to make. It's not impossible to take a woman that has never liked wrestling, or no, just a person in general that didn't like wrestling growing up and have them be an impressive wrestler. the prime example for that is AJ Styles. I mean, he was not a fan growing up. He's probably one of the best superstars out there. The problem is what TNA's doing to him is we won't even go there, but
oh my god. This keep going, sorry. I'll say what I was going to say.
This video is going to go a while. It's probably going to go on my channel, but anyhow.
It's just annoying to me because we're still fucking talking about Eve Torres.
I get you, but I think
combined our videos are going to be like an hour long talking about fucking Eve Torres.
But my thing is, I'm not even the biggest Eve fan. I mean, okay, I'll admit
I'm not
gorgeous.
either. I just didn't think Travis's reaction in the first video was, I didn't think it fit what happened.
See, to me, what Travis seems to be misunderstanding is that everything that he's going crazy about, like he's saying that, oh, Eve doesn't deserve the title. Well, neither does Michelle McCool, but where were you to complain about that? That's my other issue. Michelle McCool does not deserve the push she's getting, and where were you when we needed somebody to bitch about that? I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have a problem with it, because you probably do. I don't know.
He does. But he hates Michelle McCool about as much as I do.
But see, he wasn't quick to make a video when she won the title back. He wasn't quick to the jab to say, why the fuck does she have the title back? I mean, neither was I, but I'm a lazy fuck.
Do you realize that since she became heel, she has been a Divas Champion, I think twice. She's been a Divas Champion twice, because she was the first one, and then she lost it to Maurice. Did she get it back?
She got it.
I think
Melina
actually,
had it.
I think did she get it back from Melina?
Yeah,
well, Melina brought it over to Raw.
Yeah, from Jillian when Jillian.
No, Maurice brought it over from Raw.
Yeah, and then I think Jillian won it in a battle royal or something because Maurice got injured. And,
okay, so anyways, she is at least a one-time, not only a one-time, the first Divas Champion.
Well, she was face at that time, but go on.
Possibly a two-time, not even sure about that. I could be wrong about that. First Divas Champion, maybe 2 reigns. First woman to win both titles. And now she's a 2-time women's champion.
And her first run, I think, or excuse me, the run she had back in the summer was about at least 6 to 7 months long.
Oh, by the way, she beat Melina for the women's title, because Melina brought it over from SmackDown. Melina brought it over from SmackDown, and then she won it from Melina, and then Melina went over to Raw and won the Divas title from Jillian. So she's probably only a one-time Divas.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Okay.
So, one-time Divas Champion, first Divas Champion, first to win both titles, and a 2-time Women's Champion. Why the fuck does she have that many titles under her name?
But, see, again, I mean, Travis is quick to... Again, I got nothing against you, buddy, but you're quick to jab Eve Torres when she wins the title for the first time, but you're not quick to jab Michelle McCool, who's pretty much using politics to get her way. I mean, pretty much what
to win 2 women's championships.
I mean,
twice.
I worship the ground that the Undertaker walks on, but come on, I think Undertaker should be like, whoa, you're going a little bit too far with this, especially since
he hates Triple H so much.
Yeah, apparently that's what's been reported. That's why he's on the opposite show as Triple H, because he doesn't want anything to do with him. Again, that's speculation. Don't know, but
Okay, we gotta watch part 2.
Alright, so we'll stop it here, and yeah, we'll add the next part on. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so we're back watching part 2.
The rest of Travis's video. This one will be more organized, because we actually wrote down everything he said.
Yeah, if you hear button mashing, that's me playing Fire Pro, probably the best wrestling game ever made. But anyhow. Go on.
Let's see. Where did we start? Okay. I guess...
I think the first thing talked about was saying that the match sucked.
Which, I don't think it sucked. I just don't think it... I don't think anything about it. I think it was there.
It was just their match, but that's how most Diva matches are today, so I don't see why he's getting all antsy-fancy about this crap. Because that's
And
all...
Go ahead, sorry.
Nah, that's pretty much all you get in Divas. I mean, knockouts, you'll get a good match once in a while, but that's pretty much it.
And maybe I'm naive, but I don't think she botched the neck breaker. Like, I don't think it was an amazing neck breaker. I think she, like, took, I guess, what I could call a dramatic pause. She, like, turned her over and, like, held it for a minute and then dropped and did the neck breaker. I didn't think the pause was needed, but I didn't see how she botched it. It was sloppy.
But yeah, the next point that he goes off to make is that when you girls said that she's trying, he said, oh yeah, like he said in a very sarcastic way that, oh, she's trying, yeah, because she's botching left and right and doing roll-ups and all that. You do have to realize, for someone to try, that there's always trial and error. She's obviously going to botch when she first tries. It's just human nature.
She still only had a handful of matches.
Pretty much, so don't expect her to be perfect and everything. But even with that, she's better than some of these divas who've been there for a few years and have done nothing. Fucking look at Tori Wilson, how long she had been in the business, and she had not improved in the slightest. Let's see. He gets pissed off saying that it's a fact that Eve Torres is only over with the women and children. And I've got a problem with this because he says it's a bold fact that only women and children like Eve Torres. I want you to provide evidence onto how that's the case. Now, don't tell me, oh, well, because all the crowd is women and children, because that's just naive. Because
how many women have you actually seen at a wrestling show anyways? Every time I look around, I'm the only one there.
Look at freaking WrestleMania. We were surrounded by guys, freaking guys older than us, crying out loud. But anyhow, it's yeah, well, I'll agree that the product is directed toward more women and children. We'll get to that.
I would say it's directed more towards kids than women.
Yeah, it is. It's not
I mean, when you're having a Baywatch match and a hot tub match, I don't think it's geared towards women at all.
Well, you could also say
when literally the guest hosts of Raw say, "Oh, okay, if you get in this hot tub with me, I'll give you a Divas title shot." I don't think it's geared towards women.
Well, I think it's the fact that Cena is the top guy and Cena's pretty much a figurehead for the women, but...
Well, if we're gonna do that, then why is it fucking Evan Bourne on the top of his game? Who else is hot?
Well,
Drew McIntyre getting a push.
That part you could blame for politics, or how the...
Who else is hot that D and I'd like? D and I think Kofi Kingston's hot. He's not getting a push. D and I think Christian's hot, or at least I think Christian's hot. He's not getting a push.
Politics.
I like fucking NXT guy. Does the 450 splash.
Oh, Justin Gabriel.
I like Justin Gabriel, and he's not going over Daniel Bryan and apparently Wade Barrett.
Well, again, Justin Gabriel's kind of bad example because he's very, very new.
Yes, I'm just naming people I think are hot. And if it's geared towards women, then all these really hot guys should be getting titles.
Well, again, politics, but that's a whole other ball game. We'll that's another video. Just a reminder, Travis, that sarcasm does not garner you a victory in this, because you were pretty sarcastic within this video.
I realize he was trying to be funny too, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm taking the whole video very seriously, because I know Travis isn't mean, and he isn't he's not gonna talk down to me and shit like that. I just felt mad at the, oh my god, I'm gonna sound like Spinnernet, at the condescending tone.
Ah, so you better block him now. Anyhow.
I should block him because you had a lot of attitude and were condescending.
Anyhow, I guess we'll go to the next point, which was women and children have had everything for 5 years. Yet, because once Cena won the title, that's when the direction for this promotion started to really change, which was more geared towards the women and children, more geared towards the casual fans. That's pretty much how this company is, and if that's their company direction, and if that's where they want to go, then they're going to cater more towards them than the adults, or the male adults, the 18 to 34-year-old demographic.
Which, there was a point in there that that we didn't write down in here that I remember now, because, what was it? We said something about, like, he says, what was it? We were talking about how, it was the point that I made that Dee and I were like, well, it's only geared towards women and children, so why do you even care? You're not a woman or a child. And he's like, you know why I care? Because I'm a wrestling fan, and I want to support the product. I'm a wrestling fan, too, and so is Mono.
Yeah.
Why are you supporting a product that you hate, that you think sucks?
I don't know. Anyhow.
If you want to support wrestling you like, watch wrestling you like. I don't watch TNA because I fucking hate it. Because it's awful. And I have to watch AJ Styles come out in a bathrobe and a feather boa, and I think it's awful. So I don't watch TNA. I can't tell you the last thing that happened on Impact. Because I don't watch it. Because I don't want to support it.
Next point that he brings up is stop supporting Eve Torres. So you're going to tell us who to support and not to support. So if we like Eve Torres, we shouldn't support her because you say she sucks and she's talentless. Really? Dude, come on. They made a point that you had overreacted, that you had screamed your head off of this crap, saying that, because in your first video you screamed your head off and just went crazy. And Kristen Dia pointed this out. Your counterpoint to that was, I didn't overreact. It was the truth. What was the truth about it now? I mean, because all I can say was it was mere opinion garnered by misinformation. That's what I'll say there, but...
Yeah, because he didn't even watch the match at that point. He just heard that she was champion.
Yeah, so anyhow. Alright. Alright, this is just a random point. You condescendingly called Kristen a sweetheart. No. See, now you gotta get blocked now.
But you know what else? He also did a little, he did little imitations of us, which I don't care that he did imitations of us. I wasn't offended by that at all. He did little imitations of us, and it was like Dee and I going, oh my god, she did a moonsault! Mark out! I'm not marking out at the fact she did a moonsault. I'm shocked that she did a moonsault, because I'm like, wow, divas don't do moonsaults. You're not my favorite wrestler because you do a moonsault. There's some awful moonsaults in this business. There are people that do moonsaults that I don't really care for. I have to think of someone now to prove that wrong. Because usually I like the high-flying types.
Evan Bourne.
But I like Evan Bourne.
No, but I was saying you like Evan Bourne. You like the high-flying types.
Yes, I like the high-flying types, but I'm trying to think of somebody who does a moonsault that I don't like now.
I don't even know.
I know, which fucking just like, fucking like contradicted myself right there. Sorry. I don't like her just because she does a moonsault. Okay? I'm shocked she did a moonsault. But it's not like, oh my god, you did a moonsault. I love you now. I got one. I fucking got one. I do have one. Haha. What's her fucking... Lacey Von Erich does a move where she does a moonsault off of the top rope, lands on her feet, and then does an elbow drop. Awful fucking move. So, she technically does do a moonsault, and I do not like Lacey Von Erich. It's an awful moonsault, by the way.
Anyhow, going on to that, he brings up the clip for when Maurice enters the ring.
Oh my god, I can't even... go
and
ahead.
And he goes, you call that a crowd reaction? And I said, yeah, that is a crowd reaction.
You hear people going, boo!
And yeah, you could hear yays. But you want to know something? Eddie Guerrero said it best in his book when he did the Los Guerreros gimmick with Chavo. He said it best. He said that, hey, if they are giving you the different reaction you're supposed to get, hey, at least you're getting a reaction rather than silence. So, if Maurice is getting cheers, that's fine, as long as the crowd is showing that she is relevant in their eyes. So,
and there were boos.
And there were boos, so there you go. You then said there's a difference between a pop and a crowd reaction. Now, hold up. But before Kristen gets ready to go off on this, I just want to say this. He is right in a sense. Now, I might have explained this in the last video, but there could be a difference. All right? They're somewhat the same, but they're somewhat different. Crowd reaction is the amount of reaction you get from a crowd every time you enter the arena and blah, blah, blah. A pop would be something that just happened, like Shelton Benjamin falling off a 20-foot ladder onto the table, something like that. That would have the crowd popping. Fine, that's all fine and dandy.
I would actually say I now understand that part, not because of what Travis says, but I can see now that I guess I think it's all the same shit. Crowd reaction, pop, whatever. That I guess there can be a difference that a crowd reaction is what the reaction you get at just your presence, just you walking into the arena, whatever reaction you get there, as opposed to a crowd reaction is how they react by your presence, and a pop is a reaction to an action, something happening.
Yes.
You're gonna boo when a heel hits a face with a chair, or jumps them, or freak the fuck out when you do a shooting star press off of a ladder onto someone.
But see, here's where I get a little bit irked at Travis's thing.
Irked?
He tries
irked the right word?
He tries to compare the crowd reaction of Maurice Ouellette, a diva who's still young in her career, who's playing the heel role, to Stone Cold Steve Austin, the most over face in wrestling history next to Hulk Hogan.
You can take any diva, any of them, Lita, Trish. I would say Lita, Trish, and Moolah probably get the biggest crowd reaction of any female in the company ever. And those together would not equal Steve Austin. There are male wrestlers that combined, I would say all of the people in the X division of TNA combined do not get the crowd reaction of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
How do you compare?
That's Apple. That is like comparing an apple to an atomic bomb. That's
that is like comparing clouds to freaking memory cards.
They're not. You can't even, especially a diva nowadays. I would see that you make if you played a clip of Trish Stratus and everybody's flipping out and chanting Trish, Trish, Trish. That would be a fair comparison, though I'd still argue that was then, this is now, that divas are getting the push that they did back then. But Maurice and Stone Cold, really? Travis, we literally had to stop the video at that point, and is at, what is it? It's at 4 minutes or 4 minutes and 50 seconds?
Something like that.
I think it's 4 minutes and 50 seconds. I literally was stop. We have to stop the video.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because what we did was watch the video and, like, type out the different points she made and stuff. We literally had to stop the video and talk about that.
But digressing, going back, you said that wrestling and said something about, just because she's a former jujitsu, that, yeah, we should praise her. No one's saying that.
I didn't say that. I respect Eve on a personal level, not on, like, a wrestling level, on, like, a personal level for having a Gracie blue belt, because I know how difficult it is to get a Gracie blue belt. If Spinnernet goes and gets a Gracie blue belt, I still hate the fucker.
Yeah, there's a difference.
I could respect the fact that he worked that hard to get a Gracie blue belt. I still hate the fucker.
Yeah, there's a complete difference between Eve Torres and fucking Spinnernet. At least fucking Eve is not going around blocking people because they are condescending and insulting people.
That is not the reason I like Eve getting the title, because, she's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. And I never made that point. That's not why I like Eve Torres in wrestling. I respect Eve Torres as a person outside of the wrestling business. If Eve Torres was not on TV, walked up to me, came to my academy, and was like, I have a Gracie blue belt, I'd be like, holy shit, I respect you for getting that, because I know how hard it is to get a Gracie blue belt.
Then he talks about new champions, and he says that, look at Sheamus, they gave him the title, and it didn't work. Difference is, Eve's got crowd reactions, Sheamus was pushed way too fucking quick.
And I would still say that it's a little early for her to be getting a title.
But at least it's understandable. Sheamus is not understandable. I mean, you could probably, depending on what happens with this title run, yeah, I mean, fucking, if Eve has a shitty title run like Sheamus, fine. I will give you that point. But as far as giving them the title, it's more understandable they gave Eve Torres the Divas title than they give Sheamus the world title. Plain and simple. You said something, that you said new not working, that really falls into Sheamus, and pretty much Sheamus didn't work just because there was no reason to give him the title. Eve was more like, okay, there is at least a reason. And then, I don't know why you typed this point down, but we'll see. You made a point.
He said, I wanted to make a point of, I at least respect the fact that he's like, we'll see how her title run goes. And he's like giving her a chance at the end.
Alright.
It says if she has a shitty title run, he'll be pissed. Blah, blah, blah.
Even if she does, that's not her fault. That's the company's fault. And you're making it seem like she's terrible. She's not that bad, Travis. She is not that bad, especially compared to the rest of the divas. They're giving us something decent.
I don't think she's good by any stretch of the imagination.
She's okay. She's kind of like where Candice Michelle was in 2007, trying to bust her ass. I mean, Candice Michelle, you could argue, bust her ass even further, but because she came there and back from injury. But come on, you could have gotten much worse. So overall, Travis, please, you're taking this way too freaking seriously. It's Eve Torres. She won the title, really, and it's not even the main factor of Raw. That's what you're arguing about. I mean, at least with me, I had a reason to hate Bobby Lashley because he was the main factor of that company at that point.
I'm not making another video about Eve Torres. I like women's wrestling, and I don't even care about Eve Torres as much as to make all of these videos that we've had on her. I don't like her or hate her that much. We've talked about her for it's going to be more than an hour.
Anyhow, I guess we'll end it here. That's pretty much it. This is Monoxide, and this is Kristen of BlackCatFeline. We'll say bye-bye for now.
And no more videos on Eve Torres.
I don't even care if he makes Anyhow, Eve Torres, Eve Torres, Eve Torres.